Pick 'em up. Give me your money, your watches, and ring. Well, I called New York and talked to that brain quack. I said, Doc, I've got to have my old brain back. He said, I'm sorry there, Mr. Cash, but I can't do that. He said, I put your brain in a chicken last Monday. He's singing your songs and making lots of money. And I got him signed to a 10-year recording contract. Now, friends, if you see me walking down the street, remember what you see ain't necessarily me. And if I try to hold you up, don't pay me no mind. But when you got $10 that you can blow, you ought to catch that Johnny Chicken show. He's doing fairs and concert dates all up and down the line. I said, stick 'em up, everybody, I'm robbing this place. Drop all of your money in my guitar case. Don't nobody move and don't nobody reach for that door. A lady said, why, you're Johnny Cash. I said, no, ma'am, I'm the Manhattan Flash, and I am the best bank robber in New York. Well, I don't pay any income tax. You don't pay tax on money you steal. You ought to catch that Johnny Chicken show. Chicken in black.
Louis Theroux, Duke and Jones, jiggle jiggle. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble dribble. You know, ride it in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. Shepherd's Bush, compact push, Notting Hill Gate, my Fiat Skate with a crate of Cabernet. But not today, because I gotta drive. I want to stay alive, not because it's illicit. Do I have to get explicit? As a matter of fact, I sip on the yacht with Pig and Reese, 200 diamonds in their piece. I'm trying to get mine so I can shine. Jiggle, jiggle, I like to see you wiggle, wiggle. Jiggle, jiggle, I like to see you wiggle, wiggle. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. I think that went really well, don't you? I enjoyed it. Nice being in the booth. So, unless you have anything else, that's a wrap. My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble dribble. You know, ride it in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no sack. But luckily the seats go back. I got a knack to relax in my mind, sipping some red wine. Back, sipping back, mine, sipping back, baby, sipping back, sipping back, mine, sipping red. Red dribble, compact, beats compact, black, compact, beats, 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 black, beats, compact, and two beats, compact, and beats, compact, and beats, compact, and beats, compact, and black. And luckily the seats go back.
Hooga neck. Hooga, get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. Hooga ain't seen on the woof. Let me see a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. Hooga ain't get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a hooga get on the woof. Let me see a hooga get on the woof. I ain't never seen a Mac out bird watching no beat. Piggyback, get on the roof. Brian, Albert, get on the roof. Meatball Marcus, he ain't get on the roof. Let me see an old judge, get on the roof. I ain't never seen Jim McKay spit out a tooth. Paula Keith ain't climbing on the roof. He's in the bathroom trying to booth. How you do it like a selfie? Damn, he got no shame, truth. Climbing on the roof. I ain't never seen Coffin Depper get on the roof. I ain't never seen Grant Tellis get on the roof. Oh shit, Auntie Bay get on the roof. Oh shit, Higgins get on the roof. I ain't never seen Colin get on the roof. I ain't never seen Tristan get on the roof. None of those cops telling the truth.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
Have I been muted the whole time? Excellent. Good. We're not going to listen to Tim Dillon's Thanksgiving rant. I don't know why that came on. Now I have to fix it. How are you guys doing today? Are we having a good day? Have you thanked the Lord for GM Performance Technology? Well, if you forgot, don't worry. You just did. I got you. So I'm wearing my No Fear hoodie today because there's no fear here. You understand? Thank God for Sunoco Racing. I don't know what I'd do without it. Let's see what's going on in the chat. We have to kind of hurry tonight. Not hurry, but we need to be under 2 hours because we're doing a members only after this. I think I kind of figured it out. I was a little cheaped up the other day and I was like, you know what? I should be incorporating more members only, but I should just do them right after the stream. That way, whatever we were talking about, if you guys want to continue or you got something you want to complain about, we could do it there. If you guys want to do a little gossips, we could do that. If you want to do a little therapy, we could do that. Whatever you guys want. So I think that we're going to start doing something like that now. Not every episode, but like once a week at least. We'll do a members only after. I'm trying to keep up with all this. It's been a year and some change, and I'm still like trying to get the hold of fucking YouTube. It's crazy. I can find all kinds of things on the internet, but finding the instructions for YouTube is very difficult. Hello, Dawn Marie. You're a new member? Dawn. We just met. Oh my gosh. How are you doing, hun? Also, I need to reincorporate Dawn the Lemon some more. And probably Concrete Jungle Wet Dream Tomato. We need to go back in time, y'all. We need to go back to our roots. I started doing something for you guys. I started, I say for you guys, but it's for me. I made myself disappear. Also, thank you for being a member, Dawn. Listen, I started going back and I went through, we've done over 400 episodes, which is crazy. Like, what, dude? That's almost one a day, I think. Like, that's a lot. And I know that I've skipped like a week at a time sometimes. And at the beginning, I was putting all my videos together, not doing live. So that was a lot. And the thing is, I wanted to go back and I was like, what do we need closure on? What do we need updates on? What did we not finish? So we can wrap it up. Oh my God, that whistle was loud. I apologize for anyone with headphones. I don't know my own strength of my voice, my breath. Anyway, I have a nice long list of shit that we still have to do. Promises unkept, if you will. We got to do. We haven't even done the full Kenneth McDuff episode. We also have to do. What's weird is, okay, don't mean to toot our horn or anything, but I mean, I feel like when we talk about a cold case, some of you guys have pointed this out. I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, let's not get weird with it. Let's not pretend I'm the moon or something. But we'll talk about a cold case that's ancient And then all of a sudden it'll pop up soon. Remember, we talked about yogurt shop murders. Then a documentary came out right after. And then right after that, they solved it. We talked about Jody Huisentruit. And then all of a sudden, Chris Revac pops up. You know, we talked about, there's quite a few, actually. I made a little list. Talked about Kenneth McDuff. His crime started popping up in the news again. A special came out. We talked about Elmer Wayne Henley. And all of a sudden, he's up for parole. Special comes out. So it's wild to me how this keeps happening. But then I realized, like, because they get solved, there's not really, you know, what do we follow up with? It's solved. That's great. You know? So I start going back and I'm like, well, what do we need to wrap up? I have a whole list and we're going to start doing that. And we're going to work our way up to probably, I'm thinking, because we still have to do David Solomon. Do you guys remember that guy? He was the guy that was making up bullshit with the Madeline Soto case, trying to grift off of it. Him and his girlfriend kidnapped her child from her ex who was on disability so that they could tour the country grifting and pretending that they were in a sex cult with Madeline Soto and that Joe Biden lit him on fire. Remember that guy? And who brought him into the zeitgeist? I can't even remember that streamer's name. I feel like he got canceled. I don't know what happened to him. But there's so much that we still have to cover. We also have to do an update with Military Ma. I'd like to go back and see a few other cases with you guys that y'all brought up. There's a lot. Yeah, this guy David Solomon a long time ago, him and his girlfriend would put he'd put fake AI books up on Amazon that were teen romances. And he lied about being a sex trafficking survivor, changed his name, possibly killed his mom, allegedly, possibly, sexually harassed a bunch of women and took them across the United States, allegedly, stalked a shitload of people that were just strangers on the internet, like went to their house, accused them of locking him in basements and dungeons and sex trafficking him. Literally just like an older dude who pretends to be a young sex trafficking victim said that he was locked in a sex cult and abused by Stephen Stearns, who I believe was actually younger than him, claims to be this super Christian, but he would meet these women and take advantage of them on these Christian dating sites in Florida. Anyway, he went on this really popular YouTuber stream, and I think like they would talk about him on like Dolly Vision, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he was a guy that everybody really liked. And I was like, that guy's a fucking nut job. And I got a little pushback for it. Is it T-Rev, that guy? Like all these fucking assholes, he would go on their channels and they would host this shit like, oh my God, it's a conspiracy. This kid even said that he was in the CIA and tied to 9/11 and Joe Biden tried to set him on fire. Anyway, people were sending him and his disgusting wife, who, by the way, Amanda, she claimed to be his wife. She wasn't his wife. She took her son, who she didn't have custody of, away from her mother and traveled with this guy across the country to grift and give away their Amazon wish list so they could sneak around hotels, take her kid wasn't in school at the time, take him to Disney World. Ends up, that guy David was like a sex offender or something. He had some really fucked up charges. And yeah, her parents and a couple of other people reached out to me and they were like, yo, this guy's a nut job. Here's everything he's done. He's got a lot of victims of people who literally are like, he has been harassing me for over a decade. And I guess everyone was scared to make videos about him. And my dumbass didn't know what a psycho he was until after I looked into him. Did a whole episode. He talked about how he made songs for Justin Bieber, how he wrote for the show Smallville. Like, he's a nut job. Anyway, I proved him wrong. He talked about writing for a show during a writer's strike. I got the producer, I believe. The guy was a producer and a PA to confirm to me that dude never worked there. I did this whole episode on him. It was at the beginning. And he was so pissed. But yeah, he didn't do shit to me. It was crazy. And I feel like he kind of just disappeared. And I want to get updates with his victims and shit and see, you know, how I've been in contact with them a little few months ago, but I want to see how they're doing and make sure they're okay. But that guy was nuts. Anyway, his name was David Solomon. He claimed he was an author and like a fantasy writer. That guy was nuts. So, and I'd like to do more fish crime updates with Jai. I'd like to try to get with Duty Ron and Duty Ed. Maybe get with Mel, like talk again about what's left over from Route 29. And I was thinking about it yesterday, man. It's crazy how many people are already starting to say, this sounds fishy about Andrew Dykes being arrested for peaches. Oh, you mean the baby daddy who was already married and had a kid with another woman who knocked up a woman who was likely his mistress on base and then followed her around the country, possibly without his own wife knowing? That guy chopping her up because he doesn't want responsibility for another kid and her, or whatever reason. I mean, we can presume whatever reason it was. Did he have help? We don't know. But it's weird that guy could have done it. I would say it's weirder that Rex could have done it because she doesn't really fit the profile at all. It's most likely someone really close to the person, right? That's what they always say until they don't. It's just wild to me that people are already like, I don't know. Sounds like Rex because of the proximity. It's like, it's a big world with lots of people. The mafia dumped bodies out in that exact area and nobody said shit. How many times do I have to repeat? The amount of serial killers that have been in that area overlapping each other at one point or another. Do we need to talk Alcala, Schulman, Cottingham, Rifkin? I mean, it's absurd to me that people are already starting in on that. It couldn't have been this Andrew Dykes. That's crazy. Yeah, people don't realize that all the murders in similar locations. Yeah, do people not realize all the murders in similar locations? I mean, with the pop of Long Island alone. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, look at all the people who everybody thought. And when I would go on Mel's channel, we'd talk about this because she brought up Hot Skates. She brought up Colonial Parkway murders, Route 29 stalker, multiple different cases that we're now finding. And she thought better off. And what did I say? He can't do them all. I was very surprised when he ended up busted for Sandra Casilla. That was shocking to me. But am I surprised that one of the Hot Skates girls goes to somebody else? Colonial Parkway murders solved, not Rex. Couple of Route 29 cases solved, not Rex. Like, it's wild to me how many cases have been solved that are not Rex. And the amount of people going on and they're putting this on Twitter. And I saw, again, Raul, incredible. He knows his shit. He knew right away how to respond. Like, everybody is, and he's right. Everybody's already talking about, oh, well, the defense can use this to help Rex. No, they fucking can't. Do you think that I can go and say, oh, well, I couldn't have done it because OJ was guilty years ago of XYZ? Like, that has nothing. It's just a separate crime now. It has nothing. It doesn't exonerate Rex in any way. So it just trips me out that people are already getting into that. So we're definitely going to do a big breakdown, and I'm hoping to have Raul on. We're going to do a big breakdown of the Peaches situation soon. And we're going to go back over a bunch of go-go stuff, but I would like to also revisit some of this now that we're here and we have answers for some of the cases that we started this channel on. I'd like to revisit those with those folks. I'd like to talk again to Raul and Ron and Ed and Melanie and just see what they think. I'd like to talk to some of you guys, especially some of you guys who are in the New York area who follow this case, who have been with this channel since the beginning. Dawn Marie is one of them. Darlene, you're from that area. So it's very interesting. And yeah, that's a good point, Satan. Where the hell else are you going to dump someone up? Also, again, it's so wild to me, like, the Atlantic City murders had nothing to do with him and everybody thought those were him. Is the defense going to use that in court? Fuck no. You watched the Diddy documentary on Netflix today and it was pretty good. Oddly, 50 Cent Productions, they did the Asa Eller Up one and they did the Diddy one. And the amount of shock and awe out there at Diddy's interview, at Diddy's interviews being recorded, like Diddy being recorded in this, and apparently he didn't know. Somehow 50 Cent got that footage of him. He didn't know that, and apparently he's fucking pissed. And they straight up asked 50 Cent, they're like, how did you get that footage? And he's not telling. And I kind of love that for him. I absolutely love that for him. Yeah, I would love to ask you guys questions about that. And also, it would be great to get thoughts from Derek and Melissa, since they club kidded around that area. Speaking of Derek, hello, Derek. Love Hoogan on the Woof. Still watch it constantly. Laughing so hard. Creamy Shits is so fucking funny, dude. Maybe we'll watch it again tonight. Maybe. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is like, okay, so where Asian male doe was found, back then, all sand, just sand and dunes. Now, what do we have? Now there's like condos and shit. It's like pretty fancy. It looks nothing like it did back then. So the environment has changed so much. I'm thinking of pulling out topography maps so that we can see how the environment has changed. And then you got to remember all of the hurricanes and shit that happened over a decade. It's pretty wild. Yeah, 50 made the Diddy one. Diddy did it to himself. 50 did a Diddy. So he knew, but his dog crew sold Diddy out. Okay, so he knew what is in my eye? Ow. Sorry, something got in my eye. Oh, it's a hair. So, okay, so that makes sense. Because I'm like, how would he not see cameras in his face? Well, they screwed him. Diddy never paid the filmographer? Yeah, because he couldn't, right? Because he just spent all his money on that shit. Diddy had someone following him, recording him. He talks directly to the camera a few times. Okay, there you go. And what's funny is that 50 won't say who. Like, he just wouldn't. He sold it to the highest bidder. Damn, I hope someone's protecting the filmographer. And how crazy is that timing? I do wonder, did 50... here's my conspiracy. Here's my conspiracy, because I don't like conspiracy theories, but I'll do one now. What if 50 set up Diddy? What if 50 said, hey, film crew, come here. I want you to go pitch an idea. Like, plant this seed in Diddy's head. Or maybe one of Diddy's homies said, plant this seed in his head that he should totally do a doc. Pitch it to him and be like, hey, we'll even do it for free. Something like that. Or, we'll cover XYZ, like make it seem like a sweetheart deal. Knowing with a tip off. Now, I don't know where the tip off would come from. It's Hollywood. But you got to remember, 50 used to be dating Chelsea Handler. They ended on really good terms. She was also on really good terms with her ex-hubby, who is the head of the E! Network, who knows everybody at Viacom, who is besties with every single person you can imagine who works in true crime. Because all those production companies are tied together. NBC, Blue Mountain, all of them. Which happens to be the same group that cavorted with 50 to make the Asa doc. So how wild would it be if somebody from there tipped him off saying Diddy's going to get indicted soon, and then 50 set all this up so that he could end up getting the highest bid? He's very smart. He's very, very smart, and he's very funny. Oh, Diddy? I said Nazi. Oh, no. I must be thinking about Miss Shorty. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're not going to be petty. It's because I talked about Diddy. Now I'm feeling petty. Which, by the way, I legit cannot believe. We really dodged a bullet. I mean, we didn't really dodge a bullet. We kind of got shot, right? Like last year. We got shot in the face with some Australian bullets. Some Giardia bullets, as they say. And yet somehow we survived. And it is so wild to see that they have become the Aussie Reich now. It really just trips me out. I'm just so glad to not know people. Like, it's so nice to not know them anymore. I really enjoy that. I'm very happy for us. Played the long game. Yeah, I do wonder, did he set it up and play the long game? I do feel like that. You got to remember, 50 is so petty. Isn't he the one? I say you got to remember, and then I ask you. See how that works? CTE. Is he the one? I believe, didn't he buy out a bunch of seats, like tickets for a concert for another rapper? I can't remember who it was, but I believe he bought out a bunch of seats and then just kept the tickets so that when the rapper performed, like, nobody was in the first couple of rows. Who was that? Who was that he did that to? I think that was him. He's so petty. You remember that, JG? Sprades. Who the fuck was that? Formula 50. Yeah, we got to Google. We got to know who that is. It's like a new age Dr. Seuss meets Dr. Ruth. Fitty set up Diddy before the indictment. Yeah, like he knew it was coming. So he's like, ooh, let's get a doc crew there. Does it show him get raided? I should have watched it with Dylan. I didn't watch it with Dylan. Dylan watched it. It was Ja Rule. Absolutely. I believe it was. I was thinking Genuine. I didn't want to say that wrong. I don't want no disrespect to the man who wrote Pony. He does. He plays it every day. It was Ja Rule. Bought all these tickets to his concert. Holds them. Keeps them. Doesn't give them out. Day of the concert, Ja Rule shows up. No one in the fucking seats. Imagine knowing or thinking you like sold out a concert and no one's in the fucking seats. 200 seats in the front row. That's so many seats. How much money do you for a Ja Rule concert back then? Because it was what, 5 to 10 years ago? Dude, that would have been what, $200,000? Or no, that would be like 1,000. It was 20K? Because you got to, well, let's think that's just 100. Ticketmaster's fucking crazy. I'm going to guess 30K he spent. I want to know how much he spent on that. Someone do the OSINT. So fucking funny. Don't say 4 million. Are you fucking with me right now? 4 million would be crazy. It is worth every penny if you hate enough. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Your husband watching, you're going to. So that's the thing is like, I watched a trial. And I know, or at least the trial updates as it was happening. I'm sure you guys did too. So it's so wild to me to see the men latching onto this. I think it's just because 50 Cent made it. I should have told Dylan 50 Cent made the Asa documentary, and he probably would have watched that with me. Damn it. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm okay with celebs blowing their money onto. It's kind of funny. I do miss DMX. I do think did he make a Christmas album? He should have made a Christmas album. Speaking of Christmas, I do have a, go Don, go take a wee and come back. Do what you got to do. 3,000 on Groupon is insane. Oh my God. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. He sent 50 flowers. He said, I thought you meant 50 flowers. He said 50 flowers. I feel that. He paid about 3,000. That's it? Shut up. No. Front row for 15? Oh, he should have bought the whole fucking stadium at that point. Oh, dude, Tupac and Biggie are definitely going to get their own episode. And I'm curious, did they hit on, don't spoil it, but did they hit on that guy who is in Michigan, who is in prison for something else? And then his case got brought back up because it turns out the claims he made against Diddy and the suit he tried to file against Diddy came back into the zeitgeist. It was a guy who like worked at this bar. He was like a bouncer or something. He said they molested him or something. And then they like reopened or re-examined the case. Pretty crazy. They didn't hit on that. Damn it. He's so petty. I can't wait to see like a No Michigan guy. Damn it. I always wondered like what was going to happen with that. They talked about it a lot. Oh, was that one chick in it? Jaguar Right? You know what? Don't tell me. I'll watch it. I always thought Jaguar Right was a bit dramatic and crazy. And now full apologies, bitch. I apologize, Jaguar. Oh my God. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that all that crazy? Very rarely do I hear such exorbitant claims from someone who is so, it just seems like, oh, they're full of shit. Like there's no way that's true. And then it turns out like if half the story is true, you're like, God damn. She said she's a witch. Okay, then I'm back to not. Yeah, we're good. I don't need to know more. Yeah, the paid male sex worker is the one that was like, said that he would steal his semen, right? I feel like Dylan told me that. He told me there was a semen jacker. She's still alive? Whew. Good. Protect her. Because she's crazy and she's still alive and I worry about her. And some of her claims, I mean, if half of them pan out, you got to wonder. You got to wonder. Okay, so I need you guys' help with something. They interviewed jurors, the rural juror. I'm starring that. I need to find out. More. I want to see who the jurors are. Okay, I want to keep asking you a bunch of questions about this, but I should just watch it. And also, the semen jacked was wild, right? I mean, how many? Can we talk about semen crimes? Oh, you know what? Don't clip that. Don't fucking clip that. But we're going to have to do an episode on that because the amount of semen thievery going on, okay, from Diddy jacking this guy's semen, which sounds weird, but also like, look, I try to give Hidden True Crime the benefit of the doubt. Then weeks went by, I see the whole story, and I'm at the point where I'm like, they are all fucking crazy. Thank you. Look at K-Dubs. Immediately picked up what I was putting down. Everyone's taking semen. Whether it's your brothers or your old rap friend, everyone's getting everyone's semen now. It's really crazy. That's what hot sauce is for. Jesus Christ, Steven. Earmuffs, eye muffs, mouth muff, go to your room. What on earth? I think this must be out of context. Steven? Grounded. Jesus. Okay. I need y'all's help with something, but first I want to say thank you to a couple of people. I want to say thank you to everybody who sends me stuff in the mail. I appreciate it. Might be shutting my mailbox down soon and maybe reopening it a little bit later. Just because, like, I very rarely check it. And it's like, it's nice to have, but I don't need it. But then you guys send me a letter or something and it makes me cry in the post office. And then I get all like mushy and I'm like, I'll keep it. Jinx. I don't know if you remember Jinx, but she, during the Erica Morse episode, she's the one who got in a fight with that lady or like got into it with her at the trial. Like basically she was going down. She fell. She had the whole joke where she was falling. And she said something. I wish I could remember it. It was so funny. It was like, fuck you or something. She was falling down. She's an avid supporter of a lot of these cases in Indiana and around Indiana. And she's just so wonderful. And I absolutely love her. She's a dear friend of Turbo. She was there for the Delphi trial. She is the know-it-all of Flora. She knows everything about the Flora fire. She's a huge advocate. We absolutely love her. She's so fucking funny. And when she was in our chat last time and talking to us, she just made me laugh so fucking hard. She has this group called Troll Farm, and they sent me a sticker. And when I tell you guys, because there was no return, I was looking at it and I was like, what state is this? Like, because I didn't get the context. And this is how terrible I am at states. I've told y'all. I still had no idea what state. I didn't even bother to look at a map. I was like, I'll get it one of these days. I'll figure it out. So then Turbo finally broke it to me. It's Indiana. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And she could be lying and pronking me. I don't know. Is it Indiana? Anyway, I got a Troll Farm sticker. It is awesome. Drake pours hot sauce in his, what? I don't know what Domers is. Wait, to kill the semen. Drake. That's crazy. That's so nasty. But thank you, Jinx. And we're going to have Jinx on to talk about Flora along with Turbo. ASAP. That's something that's happening. So I want to say thank you. Next thing. If you go to the community page, the community wall here on YouTube, and you are a member, and you are SnoopyDupa and higher, which is the 99-cent membership and higher, you are going to get you're going to see there were 4 posts that I put up that are members only. So they're all SnoopyDupa and higher. And you're going to get to see the entire Apology Line magazine. I scanned it and I put it up for you. That's one of your perks. So you can go there now and you can open each individual picture, and that's a page of the magazine. I put every single one, including the front and back. You can open it, you can read it and peruse it to your delight. But for those of you who are not members, I will still be reading excerpts from it every episode. So we're going to read one in a minute. Also, I wanted to tell you guys about this group. It's a group on, and I'll put a link, a group on Facebook. I'll put a link below this episode. It is called Looking for Lost Family. It's a Facebook group. I have found it to be something I'm addicted to. Okay. But I think it's for a good cause. So it's a good addiction. I promise you, to all my members, chat, viewers, if you ever watch me, if I find a good addiction that is going to help others or yourself, I will always share it with you. I will not withhold. I will never withhold. I have a new good addiction. Okay. And if you can think of good addictions, things that you really love, and, whether it's a thing on the internet, a food, an activity, if you have a good addiction that helps others, very interested. Call the apology line or put it in chat. I don't give a fuck, but I'm very interested in what yours are. So, you know how I told you I like to look at the trace an object or what is this thing in Reddit? There's a group called, I want to get it exactly right, Looking for Lost Family in Facebook. And I joined it because I was like, oh, I like genetic genealogy stuff. I like helping people find people. And I've helped find quite a few family members for friends. And I found my own dad. So it's like, come on, let's go see if maybe we can take a crack at this. And in the last week, there have been about 13 that I've looked at. And we've been able, first of all, what I do is if I can find anything, I post below and I let the person know, hey, feel free to DM me if you need help. Now, of all those people, 4 of them, we've been DMing and we found locations of these people. And they're all alive, and it's like old family members. And it's pretty cool. And it made me feel really good. And also, it made them very happy. And one of them, I was like, I have a YouTube channel where, we look into OSIT and stuff. Feel free to stop by. And she was just thrilled. And she was like, dude, like, you should tell them about the group. And I'm like, wow, let's do that. Right now, I'm working on one. It's a guy who his daughter hasn't seen him since 2005. He has an interesting background. Could be a situation where it's a literal like fugue state or a head injury. Couldn't find anything. A bunch of people couldn't find anything about him. She's been looking for years, and we were able to find a couple of addresses in California and a jaywalking ticket in San Diego in 2016. And that's been, I think, 20. Sorry, that's been 21 years. So I'm like, dude, Tombstones, a bunch of you guys are really good at this stuff. So I think you would really like this group. And if you have Facebook, I highly encourage you to go check it out, and I'll put a link below. Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you, Melmac. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going like, oh, this is how easy it is to find people. I'm just saying, like, there are some where it actually is kind of easy to find the people if you have the tools. And some of the people in there, they don't know what's available on the internet, or they're not aware of publicly available OSIT techniques or things that, they can use at their disposal to try to find these missing loved ones, or they don't know anything about genealogy, or they don't know that there's entire websites that's dedicated to having like birth relatives match up with, their counterparts. So it's pretty cool to be able to show people like that. And I know a bunch of you guys are aware of these tools. Some of you guys have shown me tools I didn't know existed. So I think that a lot of you would be very good in that group, and you could do a lot of really good stuff, help a lot of people. So if you're into that, and you like the satisfaction of finding someone or something, go in there. I'll put a link below. Also, Kevin from South Boston, I'm proud of you, even though you're wrong. And also, you're addicted to collecting gold and silver coins. Do you get into stamps? I know a lot of people who collect gold and silver are really into stamps. At least people I know who are. It's very interesting. I wonder if it has something to do with worth. Also, I have a friend who found a big box of bonds once in a storage facility. Turns out they're worth a lot of money now. So I was looking into that. Like, what's the deal with bonds? Like, how do bonds work? Like, I know nothing about them. I'm not very good at financial shit. I grew up poor. I don't know about shit like stocks and bonds. I had to learn. But what fascinated me is there's also a subreddit. I'll tell you about this. You're going to love this. There's a currency subreddit that a homie showed me. And I'm like, this is wild. Turns out we've been walking around, all of us, at one point or another, with money that's actually worth more than what it is. So there are $1 bills out there that are worth a couple hunch. Why? Why would they be worth that much? The serial numbers on them. The fuck? I had no idea this was a thing. So when they were printed is really important. And there are people who will pay, a lot more. You know what I'm talking about, Kevin? It's wild. People will pay errors. If there's a misprint, if the bill is slightly offset and there's more space on the right, if they cut the sheet wrong and it's still legal tender, but it's just slightly off, if the numbers are 8000888, like there's really weird ones. People are like, oh my God. So there's one and it was a dirty ass penny. And I was like, what's so great about that penny? Why are people flipping out about it? It had to do with the date and something about it. Like it was something like a misprint. And someone's like, that's worth so much fucking money. Yeah, 80085. What is that? Boops? Damn it, Kevin. Same with nickels. Yeah, it's all these types of currency issues. Like, here's what to look for. New Age Willy Wonka stuff, says Feminem. That's hilarious. Your husband collects them, sweet and sassy? The charts on these are amazing. I've been pretty addicted to this currency sub, trying to learn, like, what am I supposed to be looking out for? Because I could tell you about rare books and shit, what to look out for. But I don't know nothing about currency. There's these dollars that have red print instead of green that are worth a shitload. It really blows my mind. I'm like, this is wild. And then they mint them just like they would or rank the, what do you call it, the rating system, like Pokemon cards. Like they grade them. Like this is a 10 or this is 9.5. And then people just shell out money for them. So you could sell $100 bill for like $2,000. It's crazy. Yeah, go to the bank and get a stack of bills. Go to the strip club. Do you have any idea how many strippers probably just, they got 3 G's in their tights. They got 3 G's in their crotch and they think it's just a 10. That's crazy to me. The Sheldon scale, are you talking about young Sheldon? Take up stripping, sure. Condition is everything. It is gross. And money's so dirty. It's wild. It's wild that people would pay more than the cover amount. That just trips me out. So that's some new stuff I've been learning I want to tell you about. I'll put links to that below. I'll put links to that subreddit below. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about today. We got to hurry because I got about an hour. I have some goofy stuff to show you. Obviously, we're going to do some sillies. Okay. Then we're going to watch a press conference. And we're going to do a little background on Tony Busby. He is the lawyer that is representing Brianna Aguilera's family in the death of the 19-year-old cheerleader who was an Aggie, who was here in Austin partying and fell off or was pushed off. We don't know yet. The 17th floor. We know what the police have told us. Since that press conference, I spent quite a minute, probably half my fucking work shift, had to make it up, going over all of the press conference again and again. So 2 more times that we already saw, and just kind of taking very, very detailed notes, looking for answers to questions that I couldn't find, and then calling APD repeatedly today to try to get those answers. There was another press conference. It was the attorney of the family, Tony Busby. He dropped some major bombs. I mean, he answered some of our questions, but more importantly, he caused me to say, oh my God, I have so many more questions. He caused more questions to arise while answering some very important ones. And if what he says is true, I'm kind of shocked at the irresponsibility of APD. And I don't know why. Kind of should expect it by now, but I should say the cold case detective at APD is amazing. Talking no shit about him. My investigators, my original one, both of them, amazing. Okay. They went on to work homicide, but they are not working this case. There are some cops that are great cops, and then there are some that are fucking terrible. The ones that are working this case, I am a little shocked at this point by the ineptness, because as bad as I thought they could do, it actually gets much worse, in my opinion. And also, I don't know if I have Karen Reed brain or what's going on right now, but I noticed some interesting parallels to the investigation from the Canton police and this specific one after hearing his press conference. Again, he is Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill. What if those girls were white? Like, the speech is chef's kiss. He does such a good job. I felt like I was in trouble. I felt like I was being punished. But at the same time, I felt like I was learning from a really, really good professor. It was one of the best press conferences, maybe, I've ever seen of a defense attorney fervently defending and asking questions on behalf of their client. And I just haven't seen something done to a point that was so scathing to a department. I would love to see him yell at Jimmy Burke and his department. You know, it's interesting you say Grady Judd, Darlene. I would love to see Tony Busby and Grady Judd have a sit-down podcast. I feel like he is the Grady Judd of defense attorneys. And I've heard things about Tony Busby before, because I'm in Texas. A lot of people talk about him and Dick DeGuerin, Kelly Siegler. There's a couple of people in town. Wayne Wright, the Texas Hammer. They're like Jim Adler. There's so many people here that are so well known that are both attorneys, prosecutors, rangers. Like, there are some well-known names. Busby's one of them. Never done a huge deep dive on him. Did one. Holy shit. You're going to find out some stuff today about this attorney that is insane. Like, holy shit. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. Yeah, I feel like people don't realize who Busby is until they see him in his fucking, like, it's not a Better Call Saul situation. It is wild. They call him the Shark. He has shark door handles on his office. He's insane, but I kind of love him. But he's kind of insane. Now, he does have questionable clients. I believe he's representing Diddy, if I remember, to sue some of the accusers that said that they were false accused. So that sucks. But put his clients aside and let's just look at him as a man. Holy shit. I didn't know lawyers rolled like that. Like, he should be on Shark Tank. He could be the shark. He's wild. So anyways, enough talk about what we're going to do. We're also going to look at some of the court stuff that came out with Anna Kepner. Her stepmother was in court fighting for custody of the daughter. And they asked some questions about the cruise, and she gave answers. And keep in mind, her son is the lead suspect. And the FBI has not said shit. The police have not said shit. And there she is, just telling it all. So we're going to look at some of that. Oh, he's representing the accusers, not Diddy. Well, good, great. I saw someone in Reddit talking about how he was representing Diddy, so he's a scumbag. And I was like, what? That makes more sense to me. Good. Clear the record. He's representing the accusers, not Diddy. See, what I'm going to show you about him is a little bit old. It's a little dated. It's a couple of years ago, but it's just such a wild biographical news piece on a man that is just, it trips me out. Sued Jay-Z too. Did he win? See, I'm over here doing deep dives into his appearances and his interviews. And I realize so rarely does he actually talk about his clients and his cases. He mainly talks about himself and all the shit he has, all the cool shit and cars. Trips me out. He's kind of like the new Gloria Allred, huh? Or maybe he's the male counterpart to Gloria Allred. He has a tank in his front yard. Of course he does. Your defense attorney? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, we're going to watch a couple of sillies, then we're going to get started and look at the gabagool. Here we go. Of course, let's do the prayer one more time. Let's set ourselves up for success. Here you go.
We thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the Little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
You were flirting with my
Maggie, I'm not doing this.
What? No, you were flirting with my sister.
I was flirting with your sister.
Yes, you were flirting with my sister.
What? Get over here. Get over here. Fuck you. Maggie.
Damn it, it's going to play Matan now. You know, I really like that part. There's a little part where he goes, fuck you, and it comes out of nowhere.
Maggie, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, no, we already did that. Hold on one second. I got to pop this out real quick. I keep hitting. I don't like how YouTube has set up to where the pop-up ads come up right in the middle of the screen now. And so if I click it to pause it, it then goes into whatever episode. Okay, here we go. This is a piece of found footage. Thank you. Shout outs to Found Footage Fest. It's called Craft Fair. It made me giggle. I just think you guys would like it. Check this shit out.
There's something brewing at the Brewer Auditorium. Why, it's a 3-day super craft fair, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And remember, admission is free. It's the 5th annual Super Craft Fair at the Augusta Civic Center this Saturday and Sunday, where rabbits are hopping up all over the place because admission is free. Dance your way on down to the 2nd annual Super Christmas Craft Fair at the Augusta Civic Center this Saturday and Sunday, where admission is free.
Is this Augusta, Georgia? Because she sounded like she had a bit of a New York accent. It did not sound like how I thought her accent would sound like. We'll just say that. You're dying? Oh, no. We will get someone to do... Steven, come do mouth to mouth. Don't forget Sydney Powell. We can't. We can never forget Cindy Powell. Why can't I say that? Cindy. I'm trying my best. Hello, C. Smith. Your name showed up normal. Mahjong to you, Tiff Knots. She makes me sick to my stomach. The lady? You thought that lady, her last one was lackluster? You're judgmental, but I like it. I feel like they told her to tone it down a bit. Yeah. And there's a lot of sparkles on there to work with. Okay, now here. These are the sillies I'm going to show you today because I had to. I absolutely had to. So I just love it when anybody does. I like these TikToks and shit where people are explaining paintings or they're criticizing paintings. Now, in the 90s, my favorite was criticizing children's art. There was a guy named Maddox at X Mission, and he was on well, I was gonna say he was on the internet. Heard of it? He was on the old school internet. Like this is like when people had GeoCities sites and shit. And all he did was pick apart children's art for this one series, and it was like a kid who drew like a dog, and he's like, that doesn't look like a dog, that looks like my ass. And he was just really mean. And he'd be like, toot toot, here comes the shitmobile, and it was like a fire truck. It made me laugh a lot. I love shit like that. The advent of TikTok, a lot of people are getting into criticizing historical art, popping out Renaissance shit and kind of ripping it apart. I love a good accent. I love a good thorough dress down of somebody who is considered a brilliant genius and artiste by like a 17-year-old who's like, this looks like ass. Like, it just makes me laugh. This person has taken ancient art, hieroglyphics, paintings, and done something very similar. And I thought maybe you'd enjoy it. So let's take a look at this.
Well, according to medieval people, this is supposed to be an oyster. And this? Well, it's not a dog, I assure you, because this is what medieval dogs looked like. No, this is an elephant. And so is this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I guess some artists were less interpretive than others. All right, well, what about these? No way you guess it, because these are hippos. Even this one with a beak. This one here, a giraffe. And this one, a hyena. Eating corpses, naturally, because that was the story of the day. This one should be easy, it's obviously an ostrich. This one, too, it's clearly an owl. Yeah, this fellow here, you don't have a chance in hell, because this was a medieval version of a tiger. Oh, tell Matthew about the sea creatures. We love a good sea creature. Oh yeah, the whales. The f***ing whales. And the turtles, which are kind of clever, actually. And, that's a crocodile. Yep, this is a crocodile. But let's...
Okay, now the part that made me laugh the hardest is the face on the woman right there. That's a crocodile. What the fuck is up with her chin? What is going on with her chin? And also, that's a crocodile. And the worried concern. This is my Mona Lisa. This is how I look at X. When I get up and I see my ex and I look at all the people who've tagged me in bullshit fighting, this is the face I make.
Yep, this is a crocodile. But let's not judge so quickly, because what one must consider is that medieval people likely never knew what any of these creatures actually looked like. How many people from the British Isles, do you suppose, would have ever seen a scorpion in their lifetime? Or a chameleon? Likely none, right?
That looks like the Hugin. I can see it.
And it's not like they did.
Dude, smallpox face is hilarious, and I don't know why. Starring that. Oops. Looks like someone's giving smallpox face instead of resting bitch face. Resting smallpox face. That's what we'll call it. It's when you're really worried and you're probably going to die.
This with animals they actually saw on a daily basis, like cats.
Dude, I had a friend named Pub. I still have her. She's my friend. My friend Pub, Pub had a cat that looked just like this one. I'm probably going to send her a picture of this later. Also, what the fuck is that crown?
Oh, fuck.
There you go. So that is an oyster. I do think that could be what bit John. I don't know, though. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, you know? I'm just saying that it looks like Jen McCabe. That's all I'm saying. This is all I'm trying to say. Okay. Now this is
McDonald's bag.
Let me pause it. This is me. I found footage of me as a child. And I thought you'd enjoy it. Not really. This is actually just some baby. I don't know who it is. But this is exactly what I do when I see pie. For those of you who don't know, not a cake fan. Not big on cake. Love pie. Pie is my favorite. If I'm getting a pie, I may as well get two pies. You know, that's how I am. I think this baby gets me. I think this actually could be me. This could be my baby. I should ask for my baby back. I want my baby back, baby back. Hello, Fuzzy Loot. Nice to see you. I'm almost got banana to sleep. Good. I don't know what that means. The baby looks like a pufferfish. Interesting. Oh, the oyster. Interesting too. Agreed. You'll take the cake. You can have my cake. You can have my cake and eat it too. You see the resemblance? It's me. She is cute. Cake all day. You can have it too.
Lainey, no pie right now. No pie right now. No pie. Baby, don't look at me like that.
Okay, she only does it for a second, but that's the look I give when I hear no pie. That is the look I give when I hear no pie. I don't like being told no to pie. I totally understand this child.
Look at me like that. No pie right now. Maybe later. You just had a snack. And where did you even get that McDonald's bag? Did sister bring that home?
Here we go.
No pie. There's more pies. Yeah, god damn it.
That moment right there. God damn it. When I heard her say that, I don't know why, but it reminded me of all of you. I feel like, how do we get her and this pie loving baby in the cult? The second she reached down and had the second pie, and the lady goes, God damn it. That's the moment I was like, this is us.
There's more pies. Yeah.
God damn it. There's more pies. God damn it. Oh, sweet Lainey. What a funny child. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the funniest thing I've ever seen on the internet, and I'm not fucking around. We will probably play. I want to play it 9 times. I don't know if we'll be able to. I'm going to try my best to not play it 90 times. I laughed so fucking hard when I saw this. There's nothing funnier on the internet right now. I love this girl. I love this concept. I don't want a baby, but I do want a pie. And also, I want to be friends with Chloe Wall 0 on TikTok. Holy shit. Get ready with me to chase my best friend's ex. No, wait. Get ready with me to chase my best friend's ex-boyfriend. So this is a get ready with me to chase my best friend's ex-boyfriend. Yes, you see that right. Let's fucking go. Okay, so we're getting ready here. She's getting her makeup on. And now look at that suit. That's a power suit. Looks very good. Now she's getting in her fancy car, putting her bag away. Okay, great. Oh my God. Get his ass. Get his ass. Get him. Get him. Get his ass. Hell yeah, girl. Chase him. Chase his ass. Get that motherfucker. Get him. Turn. He's going in the bushes. Get his ass. Get him. Get out of the car. Chase him. Now look, I don't know why. I don't know why she's doing this. I don't care. I want her to get him, and whatever happens to him, he deserves it. We're watching it again. She curled her hair. The way she zipped that up made me laugh too. She's just like, oh, I gotta do this again. You can tell she does this every day. All right, I look nice. Blush. Heels. She got her coffee and her Stanley. Chase his ass. Every time, dude. Oh my God, go back. I did. When I read it, I was like, clearly there's something. This is going to be a twist ending. Thinking it was going to be something where they're like, hey, and they're just like slowly following it. I didn't know. She's just getting up every day to go harass this dude. Yeah, she didn't give a fuck, dude. She didn't care at all. Get up on that sidewalk. You love it? I love her so much. I love her so much. I love her so much. Get his ass. Why is his shirt on his head? You need to go back to her, C. Smith. She was the one, dude. Oh my God. No turn signal. Just go. Get his ass. Fuck, I'm so sorry. I need one more. He's so fast. He's so fast. Sucks to be him. Cardiac workout, dude. If she wins, she wins. We're watching it one more time and then we'll move on. Get him. Yep, put it in the trunk. Stanley in there. Oh, there we go. Get his ass. I know, it's so exciting. It's Hudson's prison wife. Oh my God. Hudson. We found her. We finally got her. Dude, this is exciting. I feel like we could do this. The music does reflect how special it is. This is a good friend. Get you a friend who will chase your ex with her car. Chloe Wall 0, you are my hero. I love her. Also, the Coke can in the side of the door. I don't mean to be a stickler, but like everything else is so clean. Let's just get that can out of there. You don't need that can in there, Chloe. It's going to slow you down. All right. So this is just terrifying. I was just in Baton Rouge. And while we were driving through, we were trying to explain to Dylan how this is one of the most violent cities in the U.S. And he was like, this place is so nice. And we were there right before it rained. And part of me wishes we could have stuck around another day just so he could see this nightmare. It's probably AI. I don't know. But a lot of people in the comments were saying this is exactly real. And if it is, holy shit. And also the response at the end is exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, man. They just keep coming. That's the hood. I'm glad the door's locked.
Them crawfish got my boy hiding in the car. You better get out and catch the mud bugs, boy.
Catch the mud bug, boy. The amount of people I heard say mud bug, boy, when I was in Louisiana is a lot. And I fucking lost it when he said that the first time I saw this. And then all I could think is like, yeah, like take them home and cook them. They look delicious. Hell no, I didn't flash my boobies at nobody. All scratched up. Fuck no. Hey, you want to see my fucking scarred up titties? Give me some beads. I should have. Damn it. No, I just looked at them. Looked at men's tits. Threw beads at their faces. I love you, Noel. First, Noel, you're number 22, Noel, today. And I appreciate you. You don't think they taste good? I think they're so fucking good. No, I didn't. I had beads already from like years ago that were just, you don't actually have to show your tits there. That's what's crazy. People just give you beads, throw beads on you. It doesn't matter. Turns out. But no, I didn't bring any home. I had too much shit in my bags. I brought home a lot of socks and like freebies from the fest, but didn't think about that. Should have. Maybe next time. Okay. This thing, I don't know what it is, but I love it. It's called an echidna. And I kid you not, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. This is just a quick video, but what is it and why do I love it? And can we get one?
Most dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts and a lust for blood. Teeth like razors to suck the meat from your bone. Yeah.
And this is crazy because one time I was asked to describe the people in my chat to another creator. They were like, what's your chat like? Do you do live chats? And I wish I would have sent them this.
Most dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful.
First of all, when you look at an animal and its butthole is cute, that's when you know this is the cutest animal you've ever seen. This animal also has butthole eyes. It is very adorable. It's wiggly. It's fat. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it eats. I don't know how it survives. I don't know anything about it except it's cute. It's evil. It reminds me of you guys, and I love it.
Most dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful.
It does look filled with hateful thoughts, and I think that's what keeps it so squishy. I want to look at its face again.
Dangerous animal on this planet.
I love them too. How do we get one?
A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts and a lust for blood. Teeth like razors to suck the meat from your bone. Yes, when all is said and done. Oh, dangerous.
It looks like a ball sack, but somehow cute. It's two-sided. Really? So this side and that side, or you mean like, also, why does it look like a tiny elephant right there? I love it so much. That's not a hole, that's a prolapse. Well, it's the cutest prolapse I've ever fucking seen. And I actually feel bad saying that because I've said that to dates in the past. And they didn't work out. But I didn't mean it that time. I mean it this time.
Dangerous animal on this planet. A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts and a lust for blood.
No, Noel, it's called an echidna. I don't know what it does or why it is, but I love it. It's a hateful creature. It has a thirst for blood.
Dangerous animal on this planet.
It's dangerous.
A violent creature filled with hateful thoughts.
No, it's called it's a baby echidna. They tell you what it is. Fuck that thing. Jen. You know what? I'll allow it because you've had a rough month. But you can't tell me if I didn't send you a baby echidna in the mail, you wouldn't love it. Come on, guys. Look at it.
And a lust for blood. Teeth like razors to suck the meat from your bone. Yes, when all...
Look at it grab its own little foot. Look at it grab its own little foot. Look at his wrinkled little belly. Look at his little prolapse. It's so cute. I want 1,000 of them crawling all over me in the Mookies.
All is said and done. Oh, dangerous animal.
Oh, God, I love it so much. Don't call it that. Oh, wait. That's not an insult. What is that? That's a science, isn't it? That's a science word. I think that's a silence word. It's a Pokemon? You don't know if you would touch it? Oh, I would hold it all day and I would love it. It is chunky. It does have no eyes. I think that's why I like it. It's violent, chunky. It has no eyes. It's everything I've always wanted. It's me. I love it so much. Okay, now this is a prank I would love to do on Dylan, but I don't think, he would probably just be like, yeah, it's the Hugin. You know, I don't know how I would fix this prank to work for us. But at the same time, I think this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen as far as pranks go. I think we can maybe buy one. Is it poisonous to cats? Well, good thing Hugin's not a cat. Hello, Rubicon. Nice to see you. This is a creature from Greek mythology. Why didn't the guy earlier criticizing old creatures bring it up? That would have been cool. Okay, let's check this prank out. I would love for one of you guys to do this and report back results. Pranking my boyfriend that his dog got fat while he's away. All right. And by the way, this is also, I don't want to give you guys any ideas or anything, but I feel like a lot of people in the FKR movement who are fighting on Twitter have done quite a bit of this. So I'm all about doing this type of shit for good. And I think this is good. This is an example of a good way to fuck with people using Photoshop. Oh, wow. What a big boy. He's been such a good boy. Ha ha ha. What the fuck happened to him? Because she sent him the fat dog picture. See? She sent that to her boyfriend. Kobe misses you. He's been such a good boy. Ha ha. What the fuck? What happened to him? Hold on. Let me turn it down a little bit so I can translate. Question? That's not Kobe. Yes, it is. This has to be fake. You're kidding. No, babe. It's Kobe. How the fuck is he so fucking fat? I guess he's been eating a lot. What the fuck have you been feeding him? He looks like a fucking pig, rude. Just his regular stuff. 1 bag a day, you said. What the actual fuck? The bags are so huge. 1 bowl a day, not 1 bag a day. Oh, well, he's been having 1 bag a day. That's insane. The bags are literally so huge. Oops, my bad. He just keeps on eating. Holy shit. He looks like he's about to explode. Take him to the vet. You sure he's not just big boned? No, you've just been overfeeding him. I think he's fine. He wouldn't eat if he was too full. For fuck's sake, seriously, what have you done? This is why I prefer cats. God damn it. Kobe the fat dog. What a great prank. Fake fatten your dog. Lie to your lover. Done. What's the problem? You know? Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. Well, we'll do two more. Okay. Now, this person, I don't know who they are. I don't know shit about them. I just know that this shit made me laugh pretty hard. So I was like, I'll show the kids. I'll show everybody in chat. I think this is very funny. And then we will continue.
We're going on a trip to the plate you taking shit. Be and go inside you large and tad-tine. Oh, hey. If you've been 45 and still alive, the time to be and going up your butt and around the corner. Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy. I love her so much. Why does she remind me of Marcus Pork?
Oh, hey. If you've been 45 and still alive, the time to be and going up your butt and around the corner. Colonoscopy. If you've been afraid of butt stuff, that's okay. Because colonoscopy only taking about 20 minutes, but you're gonna be in sleeping when I'm all up in it.
Sedation.
Just a little tube going in your rectum, dude.
I love her.
Colorectal being the third most common cancer, and that's why being very important you taking up your pants, sir. And if we being
Yes, this is Margaret Cho, and I'm actually going to send this to her. You're going to look silly.
finding polyp, we're gonna scoop it out like a dollop. Daisy. This method would being brought to you guys by motivation.
Motivation. And also, I love eating sour cream out of the
And if we
tub,
being finding polyp,
and I love it. And I support this moment.
we're gonna scoop it out like a dollop. Daisy. This method would being brought to you guys by motivation.
Right? You thought that too immediately, Marcus. I feel like her and Marcus should meet up, gloved up, ready to go. Told her not to pay.
We're going on a trip.
We're gonna watch her one more time. She's the best. To the place you take in shit.
To the plate you
and she has the Crocs.
Taking shit. Being
she has the Crocs. That's how you know she works in the medical industry.
go inside you large and tad-tine. Oh, hey. If you've been 45 and still alive, the time to be and going up your butt and around.
It's time to be and going up your butt and around the corner.
Colonoscopy. If you've been afraid of butt stuff, that's okay. Because colonoscopy only taking about 20.
I kind of want her to take whatever's in my ass out of it. That's how inspired I am by her. I believe in her. She can get in my asshole.
20 minutes, but you're gonna be in sleeping when I'm all up in it. Sedation. Just a little tube going in your rectum, dude. Colorectal being the third most common cancer, and that's why being very important you taking up your pants, sir. And if we being finding polyp, we're gonna scoop it out like a dollop. Daisy. This method would being brought to you guys by motivation. We're going on a.
So I love her. And don't forget to get your colonoscopies because polyps. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to show you because it's silly and because I know, listen, I know you guys like tiny hands. Okay, I see how much you react to them when Aunt Deb has them out. So I thought maybe you'd like this video. It's a bit of a tiny hand explosion, if you will. Okay. And for that matter, let me get on here. Where's Megan? Megan, she'll see this later. I finally went and watched. I had no idea Madam Court Reporter actually called in to Deb, and then I went and watched it, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, blew my mind. She's so sweet. She's everything. I love Madam Court Reporter. But I saw some of the call-ins before, some of the Colin Alberts, and I saw Megan going up there, talk about Alf Sex Hotline. Girl, you can't out the Alf Sex Hotline. First of all, they closed it. We need to get a new one. But I appreciate her putting out the feelers. But oh my God, so funny. Oh, dang it, StreamYard. You know what? This is StreamYard's way of telling me you got to get to the point, bitch. You're taking too long. It just did the thing where everything turned white, and now it has shut me down. You know what, guys? I have to reload this. I don't even know if you can hear me right now. I think you can. Give me 3 minutes. I have to reload. Otherwise, you're not going to see me or the screen. Because StreamYard, listen, I pay all my paycheck a month so that it can break down on me every episode. And it's because that's what you get, what you pay for. Okay. Now, this is me up on the screen. And see how you can't see me? That's great. That's excellent. I'm John Cena now. Fuck StreamYard. Exactly. I'm going to leave that up while I reload. I'll be back in 2 minutes. If you guys have to take a dump, now's the time. I'll be right back. Please, please forgive StreamYard, for they know exactly what they do, and it is taunt me. Colonoscopy. All right, we're back. Excellent. Can you guys hear me okay? It's actually gotten easier to restart it, so that's a plus. All right, let's get on to the point. Market Day, dude, at 1 hour and 20 minutes. This is when we get to the point. That's actually way better than we done been, okay? So let's talk about the Brianna Aguilera case. The police had their press conference. Seemed a little to the point, seemed a little harsh, but covered a lot of bases. But we still had questions about the phone, questions about the timeline. Some things didn't make sense. A lot of you agreed with me and also, disagreed and had other thoughts about it. And I was totally fine with that because some of you were right. Like, I thought, well, maybe the girls were drunk and passed out and they didn't bother to get their phone back. And some of you were like, I don't know a teen who goes to bed without their phone. Now, I don't own any teens, so I don't know that. Okay. But you guys made it very clear, like, no, there's something weird about that. Even Steven was like, you see what I did there? Even he was like, hey, no, you don't go to bed without you go get your phone. We had a lot of questions. They did not answer. The police did not answer, but they did answer other questions we didn't even know we had. So that was cool. The problem is the questions we did have, very open-ended, very important, very vital. I said, Shirley, don't call me Shirley. We'll get an answer to some of those. Then today, Tony Busby comes like a shark out of hell, like a sharknado of a man. Who is Tony Busby? He's an attorney I'm going to show you from Houston. Let's take just a look at his 3-minute biography so we can see who this guy is. It's a feature piece that was done about him on the news several years ago. Boy, what a fascinating individual. When I tell you he gave the press conference speech of a lifetime on behalf of Brianna's family, I am not fucking with you. And I now have even more questions. And I'm on board with, yeah, I think that I agree. I agree with him. Now, might there be a bit of a situation? See, I said that too, but I believe it was Melmac said that he's actually representing the accusers. So this is Tony Busby. Let's take a look at him. And you can see him in all his glory. And then we're going to watch his press conference. And the reason I'm doing this is because I like to find out. Remember the judge in Seven Stearns? We found out about him. We looked into him. What's he all about? I like looking at the background of the attorney or the judge. Who's handling this case? What have they done before? I thought it was cool on Deb's stream when Madam Court Reporter was telling us how she was in the Aaron Hernandez trial. She was in that trial for that cop who was shot. She was in some high profile cases. Made me want to go back and look and find her, and I did, and it was super cool. So let's go ahead and check this out. This is Tony Busby. This is who we're working with. All right.
In his office on the 73rd floor of Chase Tower,
we can see the entire city.
Tony Busby has sharks everywhere. Shark door handles, a sculpture, and not just any shark, the great white.
Now we're the biggest and we're the baddest and we're just floating around looking for something to eat.
Typical Busby. Talks big, lives big.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the...
Now, right away, we've got Snoop Dogg playing in the back of a profile on an attorney. That's how you know you're working with a bad ace. You feel me?
So, a man who throws multi-million-dollar holiday parties with entertainers like Snoop Dogg. Collects exotic cars and expensive art.
Look how beautiful that is.
It's gorgeous.
This one's like $3 million.
A lifestyle paid for by his tenacity in the courtroom.
Somebody described me once as a bulldozer with a flamethrower. I thought that was fairly
You see what I see right there? I see that A&M football. Remember what I told you? Brianna was an Aggie. Texas A&M. We got it. We got a bit of an alum here as well. Can't think of anyone better to represent this family. We got an A&M boy. We got an Aggie here. You know, I didn't want to say it, but I almost did. And you get out of my thoughts, right? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. What'd it do? That guy? Yeah. Love Bruce Rivers. Reminds me a lot of Bruce Rivers. A lot.
What do we call this? The Wall of Fame? On his wall, articles on court victories and high-dollar settlements against big oil companies. He often represents families of workers who've been killed or maimed on the job.
I don't get paid to be nice.
That's another important part. Families of workers who get killed or maimed on the job. That's when I stopped and I went, hold on a second. What kind of jobs? And you know how they showed that high-rise building there? So I start looking into it. A lot of his clients are people who have fallen from construction sites and buildings working on them. Wild. What a great choice for an attorney, for real.
Don't get paid. You know, I'm not your counselor. I'm the guy that goes out and kicks ass for you and gets you checks like that.
Not bad for a scrawny kid from a tiny Texas town whose dad was a butcher and his mom a school cafeteria worker. After graduating from Texas A&M, he joined the Marines. It's all he ever wanted to be, he said.
I'm sorry. Hot ass Marine alert. So we got a guy who built himself from the ground up. Started at the bottom, now we're here. Okay. He clearly understands the culture of college and youth. He attended the exact school as the victim. Okay. He's an Aggie. Hey, dude. I personally love, let me tell you this much. I loved Aggie culture when I was in high school. I really wanted to go to A&M briefly. I ended up really wanting to go to UNT, which is where I went. But then I ended up taking some classes at UT as well. I'll tell you, I was an Aggie through and through the bone. I have pictures in my Aggie jersey, but I switched. I ended up doing, I degraded the bonfire. I ended up going full music nerd and artistic Austin Dreamer nerd. But let me tell you something. I was an Aggie at heart when I was a kid, and I have full respect for all students of all colleges in the US, but I don't have any. I'm not one of those people who's like, fuck Aggies on YouTube. Whoa, hook 'em. Like, I don't give a fuck. As long as we all have fun, as long as everyone has fun and no one gets hurt. You feel me? They didn't have the Price Master. I went to the Price Master. I went to where I knew I belonged. Damn. So we got a fighter. We got an ex-Aggie. We got a guy who has experience dealing with people who have fallen from heights very high. All right. He seems like the perfect guy to handle this case.
Then a fellow Marine suggested he take the law school admission test. He did, and it changed the course of his life.
How much money did you make on your first big win?
About 18.6 million. I bought a Mercedes and I thought I was the king of the world.
Now he has a rotating stable of expensive
I also have kind of a weird rule, and I don't usually say this because I've also met a lot of people who don't do this and are great people. But when it comes to like, look, I've never had to like pick out an attorney for anything, but other than like friendship, you know. But like when it comes to deciding on, is this someone I can work with, or someone that I can be around a lot, or someone that I enjoy, or someone I even want to be friends with, this guy ticks off a major box for me. And here's what it is. He smiles a lot when he's talking. He smiles a lot. He's a smiley dude. He seems very personable. I like that. It looks like he's having a good time and he's enjoying life. And I would too if I had a fucking Lambo or whatever that is.
I bought a Mercedes.
Dude, I know you guys all think he's gay because he dresses really good and smiles a lot and he's just like perfect. But I don't think he is, dude.
And I thought I was the king of the world.
Now he has a rotating stable of expensive wheels. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, and a $40 million art collection.
Monet. This is Renoir.
I don't know if...
Okay, you know what? Maybe he is a little gay because that is some badass art. That is really good art.
If I've ever met anyone this wealthy, so eager to show off his lifestyle, often posting about it on social media.
Because it's not like, hey, look at me, I'm better than you. That's certainly not
so
my
what
intent.
what's your intent?
My intent is like, guys, look how awesome life is for us. Look what we can accomplish. Look at this guy. Because for me, I'm still the cafeteria worker's boy.
You're a long way from that.
But that's how I still feel.
Now the guy who says he has more money than he can spend wants to be mayor of Houston, which means he'll be scrutinized over things he'd like to forget.
I don't believe he
like a DWI
became mayor of Houston. But if I had known, I would have pushed for it.
Arrest in 2016, even though the charges were dismissed.
Why were you pulled over?
Asked the cop that pulled me over.
Had you been drinking?
I've been drinking. I drank with 2 fists. I punched with 2 fists. I hugged with 2 fists.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Yeah. That's why I got dismissed.
It's obvious Busby has a bit of a chip on his shoulder. We will see if he can master politics as well as he masters a courtroom.
Love this for him. Okay, so now we're going to see him in action. This is, I'm not even kidding when I say this, one of the best press conferences I've ever seen as far as a defense attorney advocating for his client. He was the lawyer that sued Deshaun Watson. Interesting. Also, I love that quote. You've been drinking? Hell yes. A fugs with 2 fit. That's hilarious. He's a pocket boy. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I like his ties. I love him. I think he's great so far. He could put me in a stable and I'll help him. Damn it, Sherlock. I know you want to be a sugar baby. He should be the Texas governor. I bet he'd be great. I am interested in seeing his politics, though, because he's very rich and you got to be careful. All right. So I'm going to put it on 1.25 just because it is kind of slower paced. When I tell you he dresses down he dresses down the fucking press and the police so hard, it is wild. So let's go on. And you know what? We're going to do Anna Kepner stuff tomorrow because we have to do the members only. And it's going to start just in time. So let's go on ahead. And we'll go ahead and get right here. All right. Here we go.
My name is Natalie Gomez, spokesperson for the Gomez Law Firm. I want to start off by thanking you all for being here today. Now, this case demands strength, experience, and unwavering commitment.
This is also wild. I've never seen an intro, like an intro speech for an attorney at a press conference before, but I don't hate it. She just basically tells you a little bit about him and what the case is about, which we already know. So let's go forward.
Mr. Tony Busby.
I want to introduce you all to Stephanie Rodriguez and Manuel Aguilera. Now, I saw on social media some comments about the lawyers that are involved here. One recurring comment was, he gets paid either way. I want to make sure we're clear on something. We don't get paid either way. We're doing this for reasons more than money. This family lost their daughter the day after Thanksgiving, mere weeks before Christmas. Brianna was a girl who had the world at her feet. Her whole life was in front of her. She was a girl with big plans and big dreams. She was an honor student, a former cheerleader, a proud sophomore at my alma mater, Texas A&M. She was a political science major and wanted to be a future lawyer. I just found out from her mother that the last time I spoke to the Pre-Law Society at Texas A&M, Brianna was in the audience. We refuse to believe that this young woman committed suicide. Why? Because she was not suicidal. Contrary to what has been sloppily reported, in many cases by a lot of the people here, she did not engage in self-harm. She had never tried to hurt herself before. So why are these groups of lawyers engaged in this? Because this family wants the truth. They're entitled to the truth. We were asked by these parents who love their daughter to find the truth of what happened to her. They didn't feel like they were getting thorough information from the Austin Police Department. And despite what the detective said.
So let's make a note here. The first statement made that contradicts or goes against the police, the first statement made in this press conference that is the opposite of what we've been told, is she did not engage in self-harm. So let's all make a note of that. And he said that day. So earlier that day, she did not engage in self-harm. Now, to be fair to the police, they did say that. They did not specify. I would be interested in knowing what specifically they consider self-harm behavior. Let's continue.
Yesterday, or maybe implied yesterday, it's kind of hard to figure out what he was saying. This is very much an ongoing investigation. I've been around a long time. Good investigations lead to conclusions. Bad investigations start with a conclusion, and then they try to support the conclusion through the investigation. It's clear to me, based on what this detective and the things that he said to stay.
And also, I'm not going to pause a lot, but I do want to say that is a great point. Good investigations do not try to make the evidence fit a specific outcome early on. Good investigations follow the evidence and let the evidence present the outcome.
Stephanie, it's clear to me that he had made a decision immediately about what his conclusion was and then went about trying to support it. The Austin Police Department formed a conclusion within hours of this tragedy that this was a suicide without any investigation. This family had a horrible tragedy, and the communication from the Austin Police Department was so bad that the family became concerned enough to engage me and my colleagues at Gamez Law. And they also asked the public for help. With proper communication, this matter would be treated like most investigations, where no information is shared until actually after the investigation is complete. But what did we see yesterday? What we saw yesterday was a hurried, rushed press conference. And I think we all can agree the reason they had a press conference yesterday is because they knew that we were going to have this conference today. They gave the family no notice of the press conference. They sent 2 emails, and then the detective went on camera in front of millions of people and told everybody that this young lady committed suicide. Ironically, the same thing he told Stephanie, the mother, within a few minutes of talking to her without any investigation. That's not the way it's supposed to be done. The family had dared to ask questions about what was going on and what had been learned by the investigation, was then punished with leaks to millions of people from the Austin Police Department, to the detriment of their daughter and to their daughter's memory. So we were hired to assist this family in finding the truth, and we've been doing that. But everyone knows that investigations are supposed to remain confidential until the investigation is complete. And why is that? That's because you don't want to tamper with potential witnesses or scare off witnesses or create a false narrative or color witnesses' interpretation of the facts.
Which is everything they did. We continue.
Everything that detective did yesterday. That's exactly what he did. Do you realize that the autopsy has not been completed? Now, I want you to let that soak in for a minute. The autopsy has not been completed. The medical examiner's office told us that it will not be completed for 60 to 90 days, yet you had the so-called lead detective in front of millions of people saying that he had concluded that this was a suicide.
And some people are falsely putting out there that they said 6 months. No, 60 to 90 days. Let's clarify that.
Now, how unprofessional is that?
Very.
The police department asked the medical examiner to do a toxicology report. We don't have the results of that toxicology report yet. This investigator stood in front of all of you and said that he had concluded this was a suicide.
True. That is absolutely true. They said that it's not a homicide after saying it's a suicide. So they backtracked. So let's note that they backtracked from it was a suicide to it was not a homicide. Interesting.
Even though by law, he doesn't have the authority to make that conclusion. Only the medical examiner has that authority.
Also in Texas, justice of the peace, but that's beside the point.
The police department also asked for a rape kit to be done. They admitted to a...
I'm sorry, pay very close attention to this because something he says later, very interesting.
The department also asked for a rape kit to be done. They admitted to us yesterday in a Zoom call that, well, if they do the rape kit, we don't even know where they're going to send it to.
Yesterday in a Zoom call, the police department said, if they do a rape kit, we don't know where we're going to send it to. Now, spoiler alert, at the end of this, he also states that the medical examiner did a rape kit. So that's a contradiction I'm very confused on. And I just want to point it out now so that you remember what he just said, because I don't know why he said that. We're going to be just as critical of this as we are of the police statement, to be fair.
Conclusion. Only the medical examiner has that authority. The police department also asked for a rape kit to be done. They admitted to us yesterday in a Zoom call that, well, if they do the rape kit, we don't even know where they're going to send it to. This is what we're dealing with, and that's the reason we're involved. It's like the Keystone Cops over there in Austin. And it's incredibly frustrating to this family. Why would the Austin Police Department hurriedly perform or set up a press conference and leak details of the investigation and suggest to you that there was a suicide note without the medical examiner ever even performing their job? Why would they do that? Now, what he told us, I'll tell you what the investigator told us. He said, oh, my goodness gracious, the witnesses are getting death threats. I said, from whom? Why? No answer, because it's foolishness, absolute foolishness. And it's that kind of conduct that caused the family to try to find somebody separate from the Austin Police Department to investigate this. We don't have a toxicology report. We don't have a rape report. We don't have a cause of death. And none of those things, don't put that on top of that. None of those are conclusions that a police detective, a corporal, can make. He doesn't have the statutory authority to determine the cause of death. And I'm surprised that none of you even asked that question. He gave you an opportunity to ask questions. Not one of you said, hey, wait a minute, detective. When did the state of Texas give you the legislative authority to determine cause of death? I thought only either a JP, if there's no medical examiner, or a medical examiner could do that. Is that what the medical examiner has done? He would have said to you, no, actually, the medical examiner hasn't even completed his autopsy.
So there's also this situation with the medical exam. That's beside the point. I'm not sure on that, K-Dubs. Is that true? Because I believe the ME, yeah, they determine the cause of death. But in Texas, if they're not available on the scene, then I believe it's a justice of the peace in conjunction with the coroner, which was an issue in the situation with the yogurt shop murders. Remember, there was that big argument with the detective. So Texas has some wonky loopholes here. And it's very strange. I just want to point that out. So I want clarification on that. But also, he's dropping a lot of bombs. And I agree, it is sad. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to push back the members only a few minutes. But let's continue.
But none of you asked that question. You just bought everything that he said, hook, line, and sinker. And then you published your most of the things that I saw on Instagram and the newspaper were cause of death determined. Young lady committed suicide. That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. You should not do that. You should say, wait a minute, detective. How many times have you been written up and reprimanded? Detective. Wait a minute. When did you have the statutory authority? Detective.
Now he is ripping apart the detective like it's a cross-examination before they're even in court. And I kind of love it because I wonder why he brings that up. And don't worry, I'm going to look into it and we're going to talk about that eventually, probably tomorrow.
To determine cause of death, detective.
Because he brought it up for a reason.
That's your job.
Yep.
Now it's my job.
Uh-oh.
The public dissemination of information by the Austin Police Department during an investigation, the way it was done yesterday, is unethical, unprofessional, and incredibly damaging to an objective, unbiased investigation. And it's also,
And I have to say, unheard of. I mean, not unheard of, but very rarely has that happened here. They usually don't jump the gun like that, believe it or not. I would say they're split 50-50. Half the time they will completely fuck some shit up. And the other half of the time, they will do a stellar job, and it really kind of blows my mind. I think there is a real disconnect. And here's the other thing that's weird about Austin. It's not even like because this case is high profile or these people are, it's not like that. It's literally like, is this easy to solve? Is all the evidence being handed to us on a silver platter? If so, we'll do it all right. We'll solve it. But if not, and even sometimes if so, they will still manage to fuck it all up. But even despite that, so rarely have I ever seen them get up and give a press conference before the investigation has had enough time to marinate to at least get back some paperwork. Like when it comes to a student, someone that young, and the situation at hand, and you're going to see some Karen Reed-esque shit in here. I'm going to give you another spoiler, okay? They never even went in the house is an issue, okay? Excuse me, because he even confirms it. They never even went in the apartment. They never went on the balcony. They never checked for a chair. They never looked for the phone. He brought up, hey, what happened with that phone? Like, not only did they not go in the house where the person was dead on the lawn, consider this a high rise and this person is dead in front of it. They never did that. They never questioned or calculated the physics. Okay. This attorney had he hired a company to go stand up there and see if you could hear. All right. So think about the Karen Reed case. They never went in the house. Just like the Karen Reed case, the next day is when they spoke to the people in the house from the party where the victim was last seen entering. Just like the John O'Keefe case. Just like the John O'Keefe case. Just like Karen's case. They did not take the phones, it turns out, from the girls that were in the apartment. They did not do that because they said they didn't have the authority. The probable cause, if you will. They absolutely did. The phone she made her last phone call from, they did not take and analyze. They got the information from the boyfriend who she called, from his shit. They did not take fingerprints from the balcony. It reminds me so much of the ineptness of Canton. They did no math or physics to figure out, is this possible? Just like John getting hit by the car. Allegedly. They did not speak to people in the party that the victim was just in. They did. Hun, I've been playing it, but I pause and talk. That's what this channel's about. If you want to watch the press conference, though, in full without any commentary, it's on Fox News, it's on KSAT 12, and it's on CBS. But here we pause and we commentate. Just a heads up. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just letting you know, like, that's just kind of what we do. I don't think I've seen you here before a lot, so you might not know that, but that's what we do. Heads up. So if you find me annoying, you can just pause it and wait. But I would suggest, like, definitely go there if you just want to see it go all the way through. I commentate. And I am talking about another case. If you've never heard of it, it's called the Karen Reed case. It's out of Canton, Massachusetts. Very similar to that, which is why I'm talking about it, because that is one of the most corrupt, inept, like, how can we say it? Poorly done investigations of modern time. And it is so much like this case for the reasons I just said. And actually, perfect point, because I was actually wrapping up that thought. So maybe sometimes is right. I'll shut the fuck up in a second. But anyway, they never did any of those things. And that's very, very important, because now it has been what? 2 weeks? 3 weeks since that crime happened? Since she passed? Or was it the 28th? I need to look at the exact day. Either way, enough time has passed. They should have done that. They should have entered the residence, and they never did that. They never took the phones. They claim they don't have probable cause when they do. It's absurd. There's a lot of commonalities here. We continue.
So damaging to the memory of this child. All this family is asking for is a thorough, complete, unbiased, open-minded investigation. That's all they're asking for. That's what any parent would ask for whose child went to college, went to a game, lost her for several hours, and then found out hours and hours later.
Oh, and one more point. Just like her case, everybody's drunk. That's another issue. There was supposedly an argument or a fight earlier that night. There's a lot going on here that's very similar. It's very strange.
That she supposedly jumped off a balcony and with just a few questions, a few pointed questions, quickly figure out that these investigators, this so-called investigator, did not know what he was talking about. We're going to get into that. You can't close a case before you even have the cause of death from the medical examiner. Period. Full stop. You don't have that right. You don't have that authority.
To be fair, they did clarify in the and also I did push back the members only 10 minutes, so we got time. They did clarify yesterday at the press conference, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, that it is an ongoing investigation, but it's also confusing because they said it's not a homicide. And prior to that, they said it was a suicide. So if so, what are you investigating? You know, are they talking about it's the medical examiner? Are they doing because they have medical investigators, essentially? They're people who work with the homicide division or with the police department in general in conjunction with the ME. Is that the investigation going on? Or are we talking about a separate investigation into the cause of death in addition to the circumstance? Because if so, why did they not go in that? It makes no sense.
We have to get this right. This is not just for this family. This is for any family. You have to get this right. You can't close a book in the middle of reading a chapter and say that it's closed and it's over. That's not how it works. You can't misclassify a death like this. When you misclassify a death, you're planting a lie in the soil where truth should grow. And as I said, to her credit, Stephanie Rodriguez was very close to her daughter, very close. Talked to her daily. Knew everything that she was up to, everything that she was doing. The very first interaction she had with the detective from the Austin Police Department, he told her, your daughter committed suicide. The very first reaction, the very first interaction. At that point, he hadn't talked to one witness. He hadn't seen her phone. He hadn't done anything. That's sloppy and irresponsible. He claims she made suicidal comments. He told us in the Zoom call, she made suicidal comments. You know what he was talking about?
I need to play that again. Did you hear that? The detective hadn't seen her phone, but determined it was a suicide. One of the reasons they claimed it was a potential suicide was because of what was on her phone. So I am inclined to agree with him now, 100%. If that is so, what the fuck?
Action. At that point, he hadn't talked to one witness. He hadn't seen her phone. He hadn't done anything. That's sloppy and irresponsible. He claims she made suicidal comments. He told us in the Zoom call, she made suicidal comments. You know what he was talking about? The other day, when I was talking to a friend the other day, I said, man, you're going to make me jump off a bridge. That's what he's talking about. Silliness like that. He later claimed.
If that is so, that is insanely out of context of the police and so irresponsible. And I'm furious.
He was making those kinds of statements on the day of the night that she died. If that's the case, why did their friends leave her out on the balcony by herself?
Ooh, good point.
If that's true, because it's not true. None of the things that we've been told by the Austin Police Department are consistent with the actual facts that we've learned. The detective was talking about suicide before he was ever given her phone. Then he gets into her phone and he sees an essay that she wrote and he calls it a suicide note. She took creative writing the semester before. I don't know what the purpose of that. We'll never know what the purpose.
No, that's interesting because it said that it was created on the 25th and deleted. So that would have been way before the 25th. So I'm a little curious about that.
Of what she wrote and deleted. But this is the suggestion was that she left a quote suicide note. Total malarkey. Total malarkey. There's something she wrote on the 25th. She talked to her mother on the 25th. She was with her boyfriend on the night of the 25th. She was talking to her mother every single day after that. We see pictures of her smiling. We see pictures of her having fun. We see pictures of her partying. Total baloney. What they're trying to sell to you. And why? Am I suggesting that there's some kind of conspiracy? No, I'm suggesting they're lazy and they're incompetent. Just so I'm clear. I'm not suggesting any sort of conspiracy that there's some kind of somebody in power that wants this to go. No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that there's incompetence and laziness on the part of the detective. That's what I'm suggesting.
That's a great point. Don't set the bar too high, but it is true. It is lazy.
The suggestion they've made is she wrote an essay, because it's not a note. She wrote an essay on the 25th that she deleted. And then she goes and kills herself 4 days later.
So that part's confusing because see right there, he said she wrote an essay on the 25th and then it was deleted. But he also said she wrote the essay for creative writing a previous semester before. Yeah, exactly, Stevie. So that's the big contradiction that I'm very confused about. Very confused about. I don't know, because those were her longtime friends from Laredo and they just took pictures all smiling together. I think they were drunk. And when people get drunk, they can get emotional and weird and fight about stupid shit. We've seen it a million times, right? It could be something simple. I'm allergic to alcohol. And one time I got drunk on like 3 drinks and started crying and screaming about the show Everybody Loves Raymond and violently vomiting. So God knows, what the issue was.
This is their logic.
The fight was over a boy, according to her mother. And it was at the rugby club, which she got kicked out or asked to leave.
So, a few things they didn't bother to even explain. I don't even know what they did, honestly. I know what we've done. We sent someone to the apartment. We had someone take the dimensions of the apartment. We had somebody measure the railing and the height of the railing. We know how tall Brianna was. She was 5'2". The railing's 44 inches. You don't fall over it. There's no furniture out in the balcony. There's nothing to climb up on, to jump off. Anyone that's on that little balcony, it's literally as big as this. It's a little bitty old balcony. And there's a window just like that you can see onto the balcony. The apartment.
And he also clarifies here the apartment is the 2-bedroom. So tomorrow night we'll look at the layout of that one because now I know which one it was. If there's no furniture out there and she is 5'2", this next part is a good point, which confuses me because he has 2 major contradictions here. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Saying that this suicide note was written a year ago and was an essay, but then also saying it was written the 25th and deleted. Okay, and then the one we pointed out earlier. So I'm a little confused about that. But then we get to the part where, okay, let's talk about her height and the railing. And he makes a fucking great point here. I can't lie. It is a fucking great point.
And is like a dorm. It's very small. There's no way you can be in that apartment and hide. If you're in the apartment, people know you're in the apartment. It's a little small apartment. No offense to the apartment complex, but that's what it is. It's like a little double room dorm with a small balcony with no furniture. These are easy things to find out. Things that you would say, wait a minute, you're saying that this young lady was out on the balcony and she was 5'2", she had to somehow climb over the railing to try to kill herself? Then certainly you guys could see that. Certainly you knew that was happening. How could that possibly be? It doesn't make any sense because it didn't happen that way.
Pay close attention
200
here.
Pounds, 5'2". There's no way she could fall over that railing accidentally. There's no way to be on the balcony and you be inside and not know somebody's on the balcony. It's not possible. It's almost impossible to be inside the apartment and not know somebody's in the apartment with you, even though there's 2 little bedrooms.
And we will fact check that tomorrow.
This is called common sense. I'll tell you what's most concerning. They didn't explore the fight that Brianna apparently had with somebody at the tailgate at the Austin Rugby Club. I think she went to, what was the name of the tailgate that they had there? Some student organization. Latin Economic Business Development tailgate at the Austin Rugby Club. There was an altercation between her and another female. No investigation of that. Turns out that other female was in the apartment with her that night.
Boom. Interesting. So
There
that
was a
answers
witness
one of our questions.
between 12:30 and 1 a.m. who posted on TikTok. Many of you have
TikTok
seen
guy.
it. Young man posted on TikTok that he could hear up above at around the 17th floor in that general area, fighting, screaming. Somebody saying, "Get off of me." And then a muffled sound. He posted it, got many, many views. You can get on TikTok and look at it now. We talked to him this morning. And guess what?
He says right here up above me. I want to go fact check that again because I feel like in a TikTok he might have mentioned that. He might have said above, but it wasn't the last two that we watched. So I want to check that again. I'm noting that.
Here's the irony, or maybe here's a tragedy. The police didn't bother to talk to him. Now, why wouldn't they talk to him?
Also bizarre because in the comments, it seemed like they did. So he said he didn't want to, but it seemed like they'd worked out a situation where he would. And people were saying that he did, or that the police saw it. So this is concerning.
He had incredibly specific information about what he heard. He could hear it loud enough. He could hear the words that were spoken. "Get off of me," and screaming. And then a muffled cry between 12:30 and 1 p.m. right next to the apartment. We had an expert say, "Wait a minute, could he hear that?" We had to engage an expert to say, "Is it possible that he could actually hear that?" The expert said, "Absolutely. Absolutely could hear that. It makes a lot of sense." Never talked to by the police. We have a witness who was in the apartment across from the apartment where this apparently occurred.
This is insane. This is important and this is insane. And yes, we talked about this in the last one. There are cameras everywhere. There are cameras pointing up at the balcony, pointing down onto the little party area on the 7th floor. They're outside the complex, inside the complex, at the front desk, in the elevator, outside of the elevator. You need key cards to access everything. Yet the police never addressed that other than she was seen on camera entering the building and going to this floor, right? They said they pulled all the camera footage, but they didn't say what was on it other than her entering the building and that apartment and not exiting the apartment. That's what the police said. That's it. He has not addressed it at all, and I don't know that he does.
Who could hear running back and forth.
Race does not matter sometimes.
And screaming. And then she said, "I could tell something bad had happened." Did y'all know this? Ridiculous. Her entire family was in the apartment. The police could have talked to her and several other people. They failed to look into the anonymous message that was sent. There was an anonymous message that was posted that said, "Hey, I have specific information that this young lady was locked out on the balcony." Did you know that? It's not part of the investigation. Why is it not part of the investigation? Because they made their decision literally within minutes. Within minutes. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey, and here's where I'm having, and I want to be very careful because I don't want to be accusing anybody, because I'm not accusing anybody other than the APD, the Austin Police Department, not doing its job. At first, we were told that she jumped from the balcony, and the three young women that were in the apartment, and we're talking about, as I said, a tiny little apartment, were asleep and didn't know where she was. That's what we were told first. That they were asleep. They didn't even know she was on the balcony. They didn't know where she was. And that's the reason why they didn't call the police until 12:15 the next day. That's what we were told. That's part of the cop's timeline. Okay? Put up the timeline, Ryan. They said,
I love that he has
according to the plot, we haven't talked to them, who were in the apartment, 3 of them, one of which was the lessor or the lessee of the apartment, who vacated the apartment the very next day and never went back. Did you know that?
Yeah.
This is the timeline that the police gave us yesterday.
Yeah, we knew that.
This is the timeline. And if you
Not
can't look
really
at that
weird.
timeline in 1 second, point out the problem of that timeline, then you're not doing your job.
I don't think that part's weird if your
So first we're told
lifelong
that
friend
the
just
3 women
jumped
didn't
out
know
of
where
a
she
fucking
was and
building.
they were asleep. That's what we were told. And that they didn't know where she was. And they were looking for her and they were texting her mom and it wasn't. And they decided about 12:14 the next day, 6 hours later almost, that they decided at that point they couldn't find her, so they were going to call the police. This is what we were told by the Austin Police Department. Lay aside what was heard happening at about 12:30 to 1 o'clock that night. Lay aside what the witness across the hall said. Lay aside what the man down on the street said. Just disregard all that. This is what the police say. It must be right, according to them, because they did such a thorough investigation. This is what they gave us. Not one of you have asked a question about it. Not one of you. But this is what they said. Her friends called the police at 12:14 the next day because they didn't know where she was. They hadn't seen her. They thought maybe she had went out. That's what they said.
I want to answer your question real quick, Mia. Laziness. I agree with him on that. Laziness. Or a jump to conclusion that they shouldn't have done. Skipping investigatory procedure and foregoing policy, which is a problem. And yes, that's her mom on the right, and she is going to speak soon. Yeah, a bunch of small things are off, and I agree. And you have to also consider if she was having a rough time in school, right? She was dealing with anxiety or depression. She had been fighting with the boyfriend. Her mom is the one who put out that she had a fight with a boyfriend and a fight with a friend, and the fight was over a boy. And then that she was really drunk. And when she gets drunk, she has a hard time standing up and she's very short. Like her mom put that out. So consider that also when you're hearing what he's saying. But this is all very interesting. I'm going back and forth on this one because he's making a lot of good points, posing more questions though, and there's contradictions, and pretty much same for the press conference. It is way easier to say self-deletion. Yeah. So lazy cops would love that. Wrap it up in a tight bow, say bye. So here's the thing, like yesterday, cops, same statements. I have the same thoughts. Exact same. There were contradictions. I have more questions. Something is off. A lot of little problems. Same here today. But also learning a lot more.
That in your mind. When I asked the police that, like, wait a minute, how is that possible? How is that possible? A whole group of 14 or so people came into the apartment that night after they'd been out partying. They got there about 11 or so. Everybody left, right? That's what they say. And it left just 4 girls there, 4 young women, right? And the 4 young women, 3 of them didn't call the police till 12 o'clock the next day because they didn't know where she was. That's what the police say. Lay aside what the witnesses have said about that and lay aside the fact that that's a really small apartment. It's hard to get lost in that little small apartment.
Also, we know to look at the small 2 bedrooms on the 17th
I want you to
floor.
look very carefully. The first entry on the timeline.
Hello,
According to
Jim
the police.
Sills.
Let me walk over there. Brianna did not have her phone.
Also, I'm not going to talk for the rest of this. I'm going to let him talk because this is just chocked full of insight. It's going to be fully informative. I'm turning the comments off on the screen so that we could see this timeline better. I'm going to shut the fuck up till the end. We're going to end on this. As soon as it ends, we end. But pay very close attention to this. This is the stuff that's going to blow your mind, and we will go over it tomorrow because this is the stuff that has me going, oh, okay. This is kind of a problem. Like, this is a bit of a problem. And tomorrow I would like to compare timelines because you're about to learn a lot of things that are just, I did not see it. I did not see it going that way. I did not expect this. All right, here we go.
She didn't have her phone, so she had to call to make a call. According to the police, she borrowed her friend's phone, meaning one of the 3 women that was in the apartment. Now look at this very carefully. According to the police, she borrowed a friend's phone and made a call from 12:43 that lasted 1 minute. At 12:46, 2 minutes later, the police were responding to a 911 call because she was outside on the ground. Now do the math. So you probably think, well, she must have, she hung up her friend's phone and she just jumped. She hung up the phone and she dropped it on the balcony and she jumped. First question you should have is, where's the phone? What did she do with the phone? I asked the police that 3 different times. 3 times. They sidestepped me every time until this morning. They sidestepped me because they hadn't thought about it, because they rushed to judgment. They finally answered the question this morning. And you know what they said to me this morning? And they said it, and they didn't even realize what they were telling me because they're so sloppy. I made them put it in writing. I have it here. I'll read it to you. Austin Police Department did not find the phone on Miss Aguilera. Miss Aguilera returned the phone to its owner before she was seen going onto the balcony. Now, how is that possible? That is 180 degrees different than what you told us previous. That is absolutely contrary to what you told us previous. Previous, you said the 3 women were asleep. You said they didn't know where she went. But then when I asked the one question over and over and you had to answer it, then all of a sudden we realized if she did, in fact, use her friend's phone like they claim, if she did, in fact, use it for 1 minute and was found already 2 minutes later by a passerby and the police were already responding to a 911 call, think about that, what the ramifications of that are. That whoever phone she was using was standing right next to her as she went over the balcony, if she went over the balcony. Now you're saying to yourselves, well, shoot, there's got to be a reasonable explanation. We should talk to the witnesses. We should investigate. We should figure this out. That's what we're saying. Now you're getting it. You sat there, and with all due respect, you all, I watched it. You all sat there and you had this corporal, or whatever he is, lead detective. And Mrs. Rodriguez will tell you how he is and her interactions with him in just one moment. But you let him stand at a podium just like this and feed you total baloney. And all you had to do is say, wait a minute, detective, wait a minute. She borrowed somebody's phone. Where's that phone? Maybe she must have went over the railing with it. She had to give somebody. No, according to him, she returned it to its owner before she was seen walking back out to the balcony. Absolutely impossible. Very suspicious. We have a problem. And I shouldn't have to ask the detective 3 times the same question, should I? I shouldn't have to do that. But I did it, and I'm going to keep doing it. And another thing, why would you tell these kids, the boyfriend who Stephanie knows, who's been over to her house, who her daughter has been dating, they're in love, why would you, detective, tell him not to speak to Stephanie Rodriguez? Don't talk to her. What kind of foolishness is that? Just absolute insensitive and inhumane in my view. Before I go any further, I'm getting a little incensed here. Let me introduce to you Stephanie Rodriguez. She wants to read to you a statement. I hope you'll give her your full attention.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Rodriguez, and I'm the mother of Brianna Aguilera. Brianna was a driven, disciplined, and caring person. She was beautiful. She was a loving daughter, a protective big sister, and a caring granddaughter, a second mom to her 2 younger brothers. Her baby was her little Yorkie, Ava. All of us were her best friend. She made everyone around her feel loved and supported. I considered her my best friend, not just a mother-daughter relationship. We talked every day, and she would tell me everything. I miss her so much. Her brothers miss her too. Her father and grandmother miss her so much, and so do all her friends. Brianna grew up as an all-star cheerleader, an incredible athlete. She was an honor student and a member of the National Honor Society all throughout school. Christmas was her favorite time of year. She loved decorating, baking, and hiding the elf on the shelf for her little brother. Her brothers already miss her so much. Brianna graduated magna cum laude from high school. She was accepted to many colleges, but chose Texas A&M. She was studying political science and criminal justice. She was not like most young girls. She loved writing more than watching TV. Her favorite class at A&M were her creative writing classes. She dreamed of attending law school in New York and wanted to become a criminal defense lawyer. She was so smart and had such a bright future. She dreamt of a life of where she could make a difference. My daughter was not suicidal. I know my daughter better than anyone. We spoke every day. I spoke to her on the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. Even the morning of the 28th, she was not suicidal. To the Austin police, I can deal with you being annoyed each time I called or tried to talk to you. I can deal with how arrogantly you talked down to us each time we talked. I can deal with you telling my daughter's friends not to talk to me like I am some sort of criminal. But I cannot deal with you doing a news conference and saying false things about my child without a thorough investigation. I cannot deal with you jumping to conclusions and not performing an actual investigation. I cannot deal with your failure to do your job. Do your job.
The police, as much as I've always been a supporter of the police, with all due respect to them, do not determine cause of death. That's not their job. Their job, that job, is specifically reserved for the medical examiner's office. There is no medical examiner in the county, and it's the JP in the county. In Austin, it's the job of the medical examiner to determine the cause of death, not Detective Robert Marshall. The medical examiner told us that a rape kit was done and the autopsy will be performed. It'll take us 60 to 90 days. So that begs the question, why did Detective Robert Marshall tell us that they had reached their conclusion and that the investigation was complete? It doesn't work that way. How is it that Robert Marshall has determined the cause of this young woman's death? He doesn't have that authority. His job is to question all the witnesses. We've already offered up several. We'll offer up several more for him to do his job. Hopefully a different investigator will be involved. There are many questions about what was done here, about what happened on that night. And it's already going to be incredibly difficult for the Austin Police Department to conduct an objective investigation at this point. And that's because the way that the Austin Police Department has handled this and jumped to conclusions within hours of this tragedy disqualifies the Austin Police Department from further investigation of this matter. So I'm doing this today. I'm calling on the Austin Police Department to reopen the investigation with a different investigator, to reassign Robert Marshall and put this in the hands of a different investigator. Failing that, I will be calling on the governor to engage the Texas Rangers. We will submit a formal packet to them with all the evidence we have gathered so far, and we will gather. We intend to present 30 to 40 pages of information, statements, and other factual data that they need to do a proper investigation. And here are the questions I hope are answered. Austin Police Department, why would you close your investigation without having all the facts? Why not wait for the autopsy results? Why not wait for the rape kit result? And who would you send it to if you've already made up your mind? Why not question all the witnesses, the ones that we've questioned? The young man who was down on the ground, who heard somebody say, "Get off of me," or the young lady and her family across the hall who heard running, screaming, and, quote, something bad had happened. Why not question them? Why not examine all the phones of the friend group? We asked that question in the Zoom call. You know what we were told? We don't have the power to look at their phones. Hogwash. Hogwash. You have that power, and you need to do it. Why hold a hasty press conference to announce that this young lady had killed herself without even talking to her mother to see what her affect was leading up to the 28th? You heard what she said. She knows her daughter. She knows her daughter more than anyone. Why not talk to the friends immediately? Why wait? Why wait to talk to her friend group? Why not talk to them immediately? Why did you let the owner of the apartment, that is the young woman who was leasing the apartment, vacate the apartment? Literally vacate the apartment and leave town. Why won't the boyfriend talk to us? The boyfriend that was a longtime boyfriend of this young lady and was very friendly with her mother. Why can't we see the texts? Why can't we see the phones? Where's her wallet? Where's Brianna's wallet? It's missing. They didn't tell you that, did they? I see you writing. They didn't tell you that, did you? If you had asked the question, they would have told you that. They told you what they wanted you to hear. They didn't tell you the complete facts. Her wallet is missing. Why did her friends wait until 12:14 the next day to report her missing? If she had borrowed the phone and returned it the night of, 2 minutes before she jumped her death. Why didn't they examine the balcony? Why didn't they examine the railing? Why didn't they see if there was some sort of table there, a chair there that somebody who's 5'2" would have to step on to get over the railing? Why didn't they look for scuff marks? Why didn't they do anything? They didn't even bother to look to whether if somebody did, in fact, jump off the balcony, whether they would end up in the tree that's 30 some odd foot forward of the apartment. Y'all didn't ask that question either. The laws of physics aren't different in the city of Austin. You realize the same laws of physics as exist here in Houston. If, when the phone call came in at 12:46 and the officers responded to the 911 call, if it was so obvious that this young woman had fallen to her death, why was it till 6 o'clock, 5 hours later, that they ever went into the apartment complex? If it was so obvious that that's how she had died. These are the questions you should be asking. At the press conference, you didn't ask any questions. You didn't ask any questions. You just lapped it up like it was cool water and you were very thirsty. Very disappointing to me. So we have given you a lot of information. We're going to submit a packet. I'm going to call on the governor too. I don't expect, based on the conduct I saw from the police chief of Austin, her defensive manner that she approached the podium yesterday, I don't expect any relief from her. I don't expect she's going to say, King's X, oh, you're right. This was sloppy. It was not thorough. It's kind of embarrassing. We're going to get a different detective to start over. I don't expect that to happen. I expect what's going to happen is I'm going to send a formal letter to the governor asking for the Texas Rangers to be engaged. And I'm going to submit a detailed packet to the governor's office and ultimately to the Texas Rangers to actually do an investigation to figure out what actually happened, because we still don't know. Notice I haven't suggested to you what happened because I don't know. I'm starting to get a sneaking suspicion. So I've given you a lot of information. So what is your headline? Your headline is this. There are serious and disturbing questions raised with regard to the Austin Police Department's handling of the investigation surrounding the death of Brianna Aguilera. The Texas Rangers have now been called to intervene. Thank you very much. Let's go.
How long are you willing to give APD to reassign an investigator?
That takes 2 minutes. That's what I expect. Let's go. Y'all move your cameras, please. Thank you all.
All right, guys. We're now going to switch over to the members only live. We will go over this and discuss it tomorrow and compare it to the other press conference and see if there is anything else that we can glean from it or perhaps answer, or if any other answers come out. Thank you guys for being cool in the chat. I know we have differing opinions, but you're all very, very good to each other, and I appreciate that. It's nice. I feel like I don't need mods, and that's nice. And for those of you who did get modded up, I totally forgot I was doing that. So thank you for taking a look out for everybody, and thank you guys for paying attention and being here with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the members only in a little bit. And yeah, I agree. Sometimes I don't know why. It's weird. It's very strange. Sometimes the communication breakdown is awful in Austin, and sometimes there's incredible relationships between investigators and the suspect's family. I don't know what's going on with this. It's just so disappointing. I mean, I think it's very clear, though, that the procedure, the process was not followed as it should have been. The protocol. They broke proto. Let's be honest. They broke proto. There's a lot of strange things about this case. I have more questions. But also got answers to questions I didn't know I had with this one. And I could say the same about the last one. So I'll see you guys at the next one. We'll go over great points that were made, shit points that were made, contradictions between both, and we'll compare the timelines. Maybe by comparing them, we could see where perhaps there's a communication breakdown or a misunderstanding. Who knows? But thank you guys for being here. We're not going to let this one go because this is strange, and I'm just very sad for this mom. And, you know, this attorney, he's a fucking spitfire, you know, and I hope he gets them the answers that they need to heal and continue with life. And I just, you know, I'm not going to say move on, because you don't move on from something like this. It's hard. And they're in a lot of pain right now. So I hope that the outcome that happens is the truth, and that it's something that they can live with. And anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.